Today we're going to look at the source code for a project called TodoMVC, and this code runs a simple to-do list app in the web, so I can create a new to-do and I can press enter and it gets added to the list. I can cross it off, I can clear completed items, and so on. So it's a pretty straightforward app. This is an open source project. If we look at the source code, here under the app section of the code, we have a method called render. And this render method gets called throughout the app when various things change, like when the state of a given piece of data changes, the app will call render, and we can find these calls places like toggle all. So if I toggle all an entire list of to-dos, it will do what it needs to do to the data and then call render to refresh the view. So that's what render does. The issue is that this line here is doing more than just updating the view. This is actually storing the to-do list data to the local storage in the browser. And so this is a bit misleading because now, because of this line, the render method is doing more than just refreshing the view. So what can we do to make this make a little bit more sense and be more honest code? Well, we can break out this line into its own save method. So we can go here, create a new method called save, and we can simply move this line in here. Now the render method is only dealing with refreshing the view, and we have this very simple save function that can be used everywhere else. So what do we need to do to make this work? So we need to go, now every time we had been calling render previously, we need to follow that with a call to save. So let's just look for every call to render, and we just follow it with a call to save. And we can go through and do this in each place. And so now every time render is called, save is called shortly after to make sure that the data is stored to local storage so that we can close the window, come back, and our to-dos will still be there. So let's save this, and let's open the index.html in our browser, and I guess we get an error, but that's okay, we have it open already. So let's refresh. And now we can test this to make sure everything works okay. And it seems it does. We can still use the app just as we did. We can close this window, come back to it, and our to-dos are still there because, as you can see here, our to-dos are all stored in the local storage on our browser, and here's all the data. So that's how we can clean up the render method in TodoMVC.